So in today's session, we'll see how to create transaction codes for programs and for table maintenance screens, right? So what is a transaction code?
SG93.
No, in general, what is the use of transaction code? Transaction code is to open a specific application, right? For
Yes, sir.
example, if you execute SC38, it will open ABAP workbench where you create programs. If you execute SC37, it will open a function module
Function
builder
mode.
where we create function modules.
Yes, sir.
Like that, there are different transaction codes and there are functional transaction code like VA01 to create sales order, right?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, MM03. There are different transaction code. Each transaction code is for different purpose, right? There are few development transaction codes like SE38, SE37, SE24, and there are business transaction codes like VA01, VA02, VA03. There are hundreds of transaction codes in ABAP, in SAP. So each transaction code is assigned to a program or a table maintenance screen. This is MM03, right? This transaction code is
Yes, sir.
MM03. If you go to system, status,
Status.
you can find the program assigned to this. This is the program assigned to this transaction code. So when we execute this particular transaction code, which one is actually executing? We are executing this program, right? Is everyone clear on that? Whenever we execute
Yes,
any
sir.
transaction code in background, it is executing a program. Even we go to SC38, we go to system, status, there should be a program. This is the program for SC38. With the help of transaction code, we are executing this program because in production systems, no one will have access to this development transaction code like SC38, SC37, so that they can enter the program and execute. Also, it is not easy to remember the program names, right? That's why we create a transaction code for that so that we can easily open that particular program. Clear?
Okay, sir.
So whenever you create a program in your projects or you create a table maintenance screen in your projects, this is mandatory to create a transaction code. Okay? Transaction code is mandatory with some meaningful name. Okay? Clear?
Yes, sir.
So let's create a sample program. So since SAP standard transaction code already assigned with a program, SAP has already provided that functionality, right? So whenever we create the custom programs, we also need to create a custom transaction code and assign this program to the transaction code. Let's create a sample program. What type of program? Executable program. You cannot use include programs for transaction codes, okay? Because you cannot execute the include programs. We'll just write some functionality. Hmm, okay, I'm just writing a simple write statement, but you can implement as usually. You can implement a driver program for smart farms. You can implement a ALV report. You can implement a interface program, whatever. Okay, whatever the programs we can write SC37, you can assign that program to the transaction code. Now My program is ready. Execute the program. It is displaying this program for Tcode. This is the output. If you define a parameter or select option, any selection screen options, for example, I'm taking some char 20 and I'm also printing this value, comma, use chain operator. Now, now when I execute the program, what will happen? First, it will display the selection screen, right?
Yes, sir.
When execute, it will display the output, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the navigation from SE38. So now we need to create a T code, right, for this program. What is the transaction code? SC93. Go to SC93. So this is the SC93 is the transaction code for creating or maintaining transaction codes. You can also watch like standard transaction here. You can also access standard transactions here. MM03. Click on display. This is the transaction code for MM03, right? This is the program and this is the screen number and you have authorization objects, right? But you cannot edit it because it's a standard transaction code, right? You cannot edit the standard transaction codes. Clear? Now
Okay, sir.
we need to create a custom transaction code, right? So what is the purpose of our program? Our program purpose is to print something, right? We'll use Z print. Let's try whether it is available or not. So we should make transaction code as short as possible, right? So that we can easily remember, right, that name. And also
Yes, sir.
transaction code should be relevant to the program functionality, right? In some projects we create T codes like this. If it is relevant to the sales and distribution, we create SD underscore print, right? Or ZHR underscore form, like that, using some naming convention. Okay. So this is the transaction code. Create the transaction code. So there are different types of transaction codes. We have transaction code for report program. We have transaction code for table maintenance screens, and we have uh, transaction code for module pool screens. First, we'll see. So what type of transaction we need to create for this our report program? Program and selection screen. Program and selection screen. Observe this report transaction. What are the different types of transaction codes? Dialog transaction, report transaction, over transaction, variant transaction, and transaction with parameters. Okay. Today we'll observe this report transaction and transaction with parameters because mostly we create transaction codes for report programs and transaction codes with parameters. We also create for DynPro programs. We'll discuss that later. Today we'll discuss on report transactions. Select the report transaction for report program. Ours is a SC38 report program, right? Select report transaction. Enter the description. Continue. Mute, please. So this is the report transaction code. What we need to provide here? Program name. Just copy your program name and provide here. Okay. So if you have any variant, you can provide here. Variant means, what is a variant? Selection screen input. For example, every time I need to give 1, 2, 3. Now I enter the value and click on save and provide a name. And save it as variant. Save it. Next time, when I open the program, right, I don't need to enter the value. I can select the value which I have saved as variant, right? I can directly select the value which is saved as variant. Since we have only one parameter, it is very easy to enter, right? But let's assume there are 10 parameters in the selection screen, including select options, parameters, etc. It is difficult, right? Every time we need to enter the inputs, so that we save the inputs in form of variant. So whenever you select the variant, the data, the input values will be automatically populated. Clear? That is the variant.
Okay, sir. Sir, is there any limitation is there, sir,
No,
for
no,
variants?
no limitation. Whatever the inputs you have, first enter the values and save it as variant. Okay. Next time, you don't need to enter the values manually. You can select it from variant. If you want to start the program with a specific input, you can provide the variant. Otherwise, it is optional. Okay. These two fields are optional. So professional user transactions, and select this support. So what are the environments these transactions should support? Click on save. You don't need to enter the screen number, it will automatically populate. You just need to enter the program name. That's it. Select save, save it in the package. Now test it using this. Executed the transaction code. What is the screen you are seeing here? Selection screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Now copy this transaction code. So enter the transaction code. What it is displaying? It is directly displaying the selection screen. Enter it and you can get the output, right?
Sir,
Is everyone clear?
yes, sir.
Please mute. That is about report transaction code. It is same for any programs. Okay. It is common for any program. Whenever you create a report program, you can create the transaction. It is common for any program. No difference. Clear? So now we'll create program for table maintenance. How to create program for table maintenance, we'll see now. Okay. So let's create a maintenance screen for that. Go to S11, create the table. What is the delivery class? Delivery class is application table, maintenance allowed, fields, and in fields, so I'm just creating some sample table, empid. I'm making it as a primary key. I'll try to use some existing or customer. I'll take customer and name.
Name one underscore GPC.
Okay. Okay, there is some static noise. Please mute that. Okay, name and we'll take country. Okay, this is country key. Save it. Go to technical settings. So PPL 0 for master table. Size category 0. Save and activate the table. Go to table maintenance generator. I'm creating a new table maintenance generator. So you can use any existing function group as per the project requirement, or you can create a new function group with the same name as table. So it will propose the table, propose screen number. If you want to use overview screen, one step is enough. Okay, single screen is not required. So I already explained. If you select a standard record routine, every time whenever you create a record, right, in the table, it will ask for a transport request to transport it to development to test and test to production. If you select this, you cannot directly maintain data in production system. First, you need to maintain it in development, and then you need to transport it to production system. If you select no user recording routine, it won't ask for any transaction code. You sorry, transport request. You can maintain the data in any system. Okay. So create the table maintenance screen. Okay, authorization group is missing. We'll select default authorization group, that is NC. Click on enter. Save. So we are also generating a function group in background. Please remember. Save. Our maintenance screen is completed. Now where we need to test this? Go to SM30. Enter the maintenance screen. You are seeing this information because it is a client independent table. No MA and DT field in this table. Just maintain some data. So whenever you open this, you can maintain the data here in SM30. Okay, but we can also directly create a transaction code for table maintenance screen, so that whenever you execute the transaction code, you can directly open this screen. You don't need to go for SM30, you can directly open this screen, maintenance screen. For that, what is the transaction code to create a transaction code, custom transaction code? Go to SC93. For example, I am naming it as gcust. Create customer master data. So now, what is the transaction code type here? We are creating a transaction code for a table maintenance generator, right? Table maintenance generator screen, right? We are not creating for report program. We are creating for table maintenance screen. For that, what is the code we have to select? What is the transaction code? Parameter transaction. So we need to select parameter transaction. Click on continue. So that the business user can directly execute this transaction code in production system to access this maintenance screen. If you observe this, we don't have program names here like report program. What are the inputs we have here? Transaction. What is the transaction we need to enter? SM30. SM30 is the transaction code we need to enter. Okay, and select skip initial screen. Skip initial screen. What is SM30? Go to SM30, open SM30. This is SM30, right? This is SM30 screen, but we don't want to see this initial screen. We directly go to maintenance screen, right? That's why we are skipping that initial screen. Clear? And then select this GUI support, GUI attribute, inherit GUI attribute. Whatever the GUI attribute, it will apply. Now, the very important inputs we need to pass here is these things. First thing is view name. For view name, what is the value we need to pass? For view name field, table name. Provide the table name. What is the next screen field we need to enter? Update. Please remember, update. Update equal to X. Pass X. View name is table name. Update is X. Okay. Click on save. Now test the transaction code. Now it is directly opening the maintenance screen, right? Without going to SM30. So creating transaction code. This is the transaction code gcust. I'm opening gcust in a new session. Gcust. It will directly open the maintenance screen, table maintenance screen. Clear? So what are the important parameters? We need to select transaction type as parameter transaction, and we need to pass transaction as SM30 and skip initial screen, and we need to pass screen fields view name and update. View name is table name and update equal to X. Let's remove this update X and check how it is working. Test it now. Now it is not processing further. Okay, so that These values are mandatory. Update X, save, execute. Now it will directly open the maintenance screen. Is everyone clear on this? So this is a very important interview question also. Okay, in interviews, you will get a question that how can you access table maintenance generator screen in production system? So we can simply say one way is using SM30 and the other way is we can create a direct transaction code for maintenance screen. Okay. So transaction codes, we need to create transaction codes for report programs as well as maintenance screens, table maintenance screens. Okay. So that business users are going to use the transaction code to execute the program, not the program name. Please remember that because they don't have access to SM38, sorry, SC38. If they have necessary, if they have required authorizations, they can directly execute the transaction code here. Okay.